Welcome to Most Loved Wrestling, the place where wrestling is most loved. Now, Raw was better than SmackDown this week, for sure, but I did think that it would be a better episode than it was, but that's only considering the fact that it was a go-home show. But if I think objectively, Raw definitely stayed true to form. So the next question is, who are the MVPs? But before I answer that, I would like you to put a like on this video, subscribe to my bullshit, and hit the notification bell. It helps with the algorithm, so if you like what I'm doing and believe that the world deserves to bear witness, then this is how you can make it happen. Now, this is a wrestling show, so as per usual, we're going to start with the matches. The Creeds defeat the Alpha Academy. Pete Dunne hits Sheamus with a shillelagh in order to allow Bronson Reed to pick up the victory. Jey Uso puts a yeet down on Carlito. Karrion Kross chops down Xavier Woods. Sami and Dominic's bout ends in a no contest after interference from JD McDonough and Carlito. Sonya and the gang defeat KC2 and Lyra Valkyria. And finally, Gunther puts Finn Balor to sleep. Other developments, Seth Rollins lays down the law. And the law is that he is the law. As referee, he has been given full authority to run this match however the fuck he likes. And if any of them boys giving problems out there, he's got no problem with drilling their head through the canvas. Drew threatened CM Punk's life. He said at SummerSlam, the beating only stops when CM Punk's heart stops, and continues to taunt CM Punk with the bracelet of Larry and AJ Lee. Liv Morgan destroyed the Judgment Day clubhouse and she burnt all their stuff. She said she had her heart ripped out, and Dominic Mysterio is not the man that she thought he was. In fact, he just turns out to be Rhea's little bitch, and she promises two things: to finish the Liv Morgan revenge tour at SummerSlam by retaining her Women's World Championship, and that she's gonna make their lives hell. Rhea Ripley is tired of Liv Morgan trying to be the victim in this situation. She's tired of Liv trying to paint her as the demon in her little fantasy world. She says, you wanted to manipulate my family and take away my Latino heat, and because of that, I got my own revenge that I plan on exacting at SummerSlam. Finn wants to face Gunther alone, but the Judgment Day believes that he should accept some backup. Finn Balor's adamant with his refusal, so the Judgment Day respect his wishes and they stay back. But after Gunther puts Finn Balor to sleep, he refuses to relent and continues to choke Finn Balor. This results in an all-out brawl between Damian Priest and Gunther to close the show. Maxine Dupree has had enough of Chad Gable's shit, so she slaps it out of him. But before Chad gets to react, the Wyatt Six roll up. Abby the Witch comes flying out of nowhere and takes out Chad Gable, whilst the rest of them proceed to smash on the Creeds. Chad Gable is no better than Grayson Waller. He saw Uncle Aldi, done a 180 and full sprinted in that direction. And we got another VHS tape. This time, it was Dexter Lumis. Bron Breakker thinks that Sami Zayn is doing himself a disservice by doing stand-up comedy the night before he's got to face him. He believes it's going to cost him the Intercontinental Championship, but rightfully so. Sami Zayn says, I beat you under those circumstances before. He also says, this time I know you're not underestimating me like last time. That's why you keep spearing me each and every week. But I too, I'm not taking the same approach as last time. This time I'm not trying to teach anybody anything. This time I'm coming to SummerSlam to beat your ass. After Sami's match, Bron Breakker tried to hit another spear, but Sami had other plans. Jesse the Body Ventura is backstage with Triple H. The Miz is planned to be the host of SummerSlam. Team Forehead re-injures Alina Vega in a backstage attack. And speaking of Team Forehead, Damage Control are back and they're ready to take back the yard. Next week, we've got two matches scheduled. Sonya Deville versus Dakota Kai. And we got the in-ring debut of the Wyatt Six versus Chad Gable and the Creed brothers in a 6-man tag match. My thoughts on the show? Carlito has been brilliant. Karrion Kross has been pressuring Xavier Woods to join the Final Testament. But I've got a question. What would Xavier Woods even look like in the Final Testament? And I will say, the Tammy Wars F5 does look better without the pump handle setup. Liv Morgan's promo was magnificent. It's a perfect display of her range as a performer. Considering how I felt about Liv about a year ago, or should I say that I didn't feel at all, to now thinking that she's must-watch TV and she's always one of the better parts of Monday Night Raw. All I can say is finally Liv Morgan has arrived. And don't you think it would be crazy to see Liv Morgan slide back down the card after this story arc is over? This Damian Priest and Gunther rivalry has no business being so good. It's unnecessarily entertaining. They're cutting fire promos on each other, and I didn't peg either man as promo artists before this rivalry had started. Not that I didn't think either of these men could talk, because I knew they could. I just didn't expect it to be this good. They've managed to make me unsure of the result, where if you had asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have told you 100% that Gunther was going to be winning the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. That's the work of good booking and good characters. That's how you know that the talent has delivered. They need to make sure they do not flop Otis. The pops that this man's getting is crazy. He's trying to rival LA Knight. And why are we not seeing the Wyatt Six at SummerSlam? There is only 7 matches on the card. I'm sure we could have made room for an 8th. This is the Wyatt Six's in-ring debut. Are you trying to tell me that is not SummerSlam worthy? Unless Triple H has intentions to make the Raw after SummerSlam something all of its own, just like we get the Raw after Mania. As we can see, Triple H is trying to make another WrestleMania level event out of SummerSlam. We've seen the movement. maybe this is just another step in that direction. But if I'm going to be honest, I don't think that's the case. I believe I'm just saying something that, if it did land on them, would give them a good idea. I think they just didn't want to make room for it on SummerSlam, or felt that they couldn't, but they still wanted the match and felt it was perfect for the Wyatt Six to make their in-ring debut after SummerSlam to start a new season. But Chad Gable is one brilliant detective. Can you believe it? I had no idea the other week that Bo Dallas was Uncle Howdy until Chad Gable told Adam Pearce, and I was in shock and I was in awe. And he done it again. He unveiled that Dexter Loomis is Mercy the Buzzard and that Joe Gacy is Huskers the Pig. Can you believe it? I had no idea. Such a detective, and I'm so glad to have Damage Control back. And I know they've only been gone a couple of weeks, but I did notice and feel their absence. And this war has some potential. We've got Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, two hard-hitting, great talents. We've seen the work of Shayna Baszler on NXT, and deep down, as much as everybody wants to hate on Zoe Stark, we know the level of talent that she is. She's massively underrated, and I don't care what we see on the internet, because I'm not one of the marks in the IWC that has to jump and say what everybody else is saying. I think Zoe Stark is fucking brilliant. So my advice to Trips is, we know about Damage Control, we know about Shayna Baszler, Sonya's very reliable, Zoe Stark is something special waiting to happen. My advice, do not handcuff these girls. Let them go at it. Let them smack each other up the same way that Gunther and Damian Priest are smacking each other up. Do not handcuff them. Let them smash on each other. Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, your yeet jokes did not slide over my head. Y'all are nasty. And now it's time for the MVPs. In 5th place, I'm going with Damage Control. They've made their return and they're taking back the yard. This is something we need in the women's division. I haven't seen two factions truly have a struggle. It's always been a faction, then a makeshift team. It would have been good if they kept them separate for a little while and allowed Sonya to build up the reputation of a faction for them to come and meet Damage Control, a faction which is already established. But either way, Sonya's group can make their name here. But I'm going to give the spot today as the MVPs to Damage Control for making their return and taking back the yard. In 4th place, I'm down with Liv Morgan. That promo was magnificent. It was powerful. I am most definitely a sucker for a cinematic promo. If you want to get me over, do something cinematic. But it was the vitriol and the malice in her words, and like I said, the message is powerful. And I'm also a fan of Arson. In 3rd place, I'm going with the Wyatt Six. This is the first time, other than Uncle Howdy, that we've seen the Wyatt Six get physical. And do not bring up their debut because you didn't see it. You just saw the aftermath of the havoc that they wreaked backstage. So we've seen a little bit of their arsenal. We've seen some of their tag team maneuvers. And not only that, they've got their in-ring debut scheduled for next week. That's going to get us all talking. In 2nd place, I'm going to go with the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day, as per usual, carried Raw. That's just what they do. I'd say probably about every 30 minutes, you would find yourself back in the Judgment Day clubhouse. Whereas the only thing is, I didn't feel like they made a massive impact. I don't feel like anybody made a massive impact on this show, considering it was a go-home show. But still, this was the Judgment Day show as per usual. And in 1st place, I'm going with Gunther. You know, originally, I thought this rivalry was just going to be, I'm coming for the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm going to lift up the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm going to give it the same prestige that I gave to the Intercontinental Championship. This company, this championship needs me. I'm the ring general. This is a sacred sport. You know, the usual Gunther stick. But this time, he's really been the big bad. He feels like the top heel on Raw. And it's like Judgment Day are predominantly bad guys, I would say. But they're kind of good guys at the same time. But I'll tell you, they're more bad guys. Now they seem like the lesser of two evils. Gunther or Judgment Day. And that's because of the way that Gunther's attacking them. He's not only talking about the World Heavyweight title, he's going for them, not as athletes, but as people. The disrespect is loud. He's not just talking about Damian Priest, he's talking about Finn Balor, he's talking about Rhea, Dominic, JD, even Carlito. That's even why Finn Balor, someone who's definitely a heel in the group, had to go at it 1v1, because if he had people running around on the outside, it makes him look like the good guy. And Gunther is most definitely not the good guy in this equation. He's most definitely the heel. And like I said, he continued to attack Finn Balor after the match, closing the show with a big brawl. And you know, I love a big brawl. You have to get that prime bottle spotting. But Gunther, congratulations on being the MVP. But that's all I got for you today. Thank you for listening to my bullshit. Don't forget to leave a like. Remember to subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below.